Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And yeah, it's not looking too good for Hasbro tomorrow. It's going to be their earnings call, and analysts are saying it's not looking good. This might explain why we're getting the announcements we're getting, why Cynthia Williams is stepping down from Wizards of the Coast, why they're outsourcing the Power Rangers to Playmates. They're preparing everybody for the really bad news.
Yeah, it doesn't look good according to, other sources outside that's their job. That Hasbro has been losing money right and left. And
yeah,
tomorrow's the quarter review earnings call. So
let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
If you want to give us some support, go out to patreon.com/clownfishtv. We got some exclusive content over there. This is, wow. Yeah, this is not looking good. And Hasbro's been losing pretty much every quarter for the last 2 years now. But you sent this over. This is coming from stockstory.org. They said they're going to be reporting their earnings tomorrow before market hours.
Yes, it's early. It's before market hours, which I thought was interesting.
Rip that Band-Aid right off.
I mean, I'll give them credit for that. Disney always waits till after close. So, So it said last quarter, Hasbro reported revenue of $1.29 billion, down 23.2% year on year, missing analyst expectations by almost 5%. It was a weak quarter for the company, and that would have been during the toy buying season. And they laid a bunch of people off at Wizards. They said they missed the analyst revenue estimates as its consumer products and entertainment segments declined 25% and 49% year on year. Yep.
Wizards of the Coast and digital gaming segment was the silver lining, 7% growth only because of Baldur's Gate. I think.
Yeah, let's be honest. But not enough to move the needle.
Wow. That's not good. They said their EBITDA missed Wall Street's forecast. This quarter, analysts are expecting Hasbro's revenue to decline 26% year on year to $740 million. A further deceleration on the 13.9 year over year decrease in revenue the company had recorded in the same quarter last year.
So 13.9% down from the same quarter last year.
Wow. Hasbro's in deep shit. How is Chris Cox still there? How is he still CEO?
Do not know.
I mean, Cynthia Williams had the goods. I mean, if she left on her own, I think and we'll talk a little bit more about this. They have kind of a post-mortem on her, but I think they got rid of her before the earnings call because they knew it was going to be really, really bad.
She wasn't going to leave until the 26th or something like that. Yeah. So, she still will be there for the earnings call, but then after that, she's out.
Cynthia, make us some coffee, please. You don't have anything to do, just to, But I mean, it might be that she's there to be like, hey, at least my division did okay, kind of.
I don't know if they did, though.
I don't know if they did because I know Magic's in deep trouble right now and board game sales are down. Wow. This explains why he's freaking out so much and talking about in the future, we're going to use AI to strip mine all these ideas and make everything Monopoly Go. Everything's going to be Monopoly Go.
Monopoly Go, yes. When everything's Monopoly Go, nothing is.
Wow.
Yeah,
they're like the analysts covering the company have been growing increasingly bearish about the business headings and the earnings. It'd be helpful if the toy company decided they wanted to make toys, like actually toys that sold.
But they're not. Instead, they're outsourcing them.
They're outsourcing them. They're not coming up with anything new. Hasbro used to always come up with new stuff, and they turned into Disney, and they just started going out and buying other companies. Actually, they were doing it before Disney.
Baldur's Gate, them refusing to work with, the people behind Baldur's Gate refusing to work with Hasbro. And now Larian's not working with them anymore. It's like they haven't even reported on that yet. I mean, as far as the earnings and stuff goes, I don't think that has overlapped an earnings call yet, has it?
I don't think so. They got lucky. They got lucky that they landed Larian to work on Baldur's Gate 3.
But Larian doesn't want to work with them now.
No. So that's never going to happen again. And he was talking about, that's why he was like, we're going to make all kinds of video games. We're going to use AI to strip mine 50 years of D&D as they alienate their consumers every quarter. And my God, I remember the backlash I used to get because I told people that Wizards was kind of a sinking ship and they needed to look elsewhere. And you're just a bigot, Nazi. Nazi bigot, Nazi bigot.
Well, now those people are too busy, out there acting like actual Nazis to yell at you.
That's a whole other issue. But it was, you were not allowed to criticize their beloved Wizards of the Coast in any way, shape, or form. And then they turned on them. They turned because of the OGL and then the AI debacle and the Pinkertons and the price gouging. And, and they've just effectively driven away their audience. They drove away the OG audience a couple of years ago because they kept doubling, tripling down on, political correctness. And then the new audience, they chased them away with all the other shit. Mm-hmm. So there you go. You get what you deserve, right? They said, the company missed Wall Street's revenue estimates 4 times in the last 2 years. That's not good. No. Most people get fired.
I know, right? But they don't. I don't understand it either. And then they're saying they're blaming it on like inflation and things like that, which, I do agree at some point. Inflation is going to be a problem because one, it's going to make their costs higher. But people don't have the money to maybe spend on like toys and things like they used to because they're buying food and things like that. Kids need shoes more than they need a new toy. And I think that they're running into those problems, but they're also, the quality has not been great lately and the stuff's too expensive. Even the crap quality. I saw, one of the toys that we talked about before, they're going to be like the new line with Transformers. That's like $15 toys. I saw them. They have them out at Walmart. Not that one in particular, but the previous one, the same kind of thing. They are really cheap. They had it on clearance for $5. People still didn't want them.
Oh, that was the Beast, Rise of the Beast.
Yeah.
Dinobot.
They're just crap. And even at $5, people aren't buying them. So anyway, continue.
Yeah, so now everybody's freaking out about the toy industry. Right now, the toy industry has basically become a collector's market, which is why you're seeing all these ridiculously overpriced collector toys, because guys like me are the ones buying the action figures, the $200, $300 action figures. I mean...
Actually, it's your wife who buys them for you, but yes.
Guys like me who are married to girls like you buy me the really expensive... And they got that Armada Prime. He's pretty cool, but...
I didn't buy that one yet.
No,
I did buy you more trains but when they pre-ordered them.
She bought me the trains. She's awesome. Anyway, I bought you ponies.
You did.
So. But yeah, I mean, it's basically a collector's market or like cheap shit for kids. The kids are getting the cheap stuff. But again, Hasbro for decades, up until like the last 10, 15 years, they came up with new stuff all the time. They came up with new toys all the time. And then they're like, let's just do the same thing again and again and again. Just make them cheaper and more expensive. And let's just do a bunch of Marvel and Star Wars Disney shit. Mm-hmm. And it all rots at Ollie's. So
the industry in general is starting to face a slump. I think as, again, as costs increase and people don't have the money to spend on things. So now their big answer for this from the industry is going to be the old answer, which is go find influencers.
Go find influencers.
According to, whoever's this at? Variety?
Variety.
Report. Yeah. VIP.
Yeah, so there's an 8% decline in sales in 2023. And, a lot of that's probably Hasbro. But look, this got them into trouble. They had influencers. They had toy influencers. And advertisers, pitched a fit because, like Ryan's World and all these, toy opening channels. Mm-hmm. They were like, well, they're not disclosing that they're getting the stuff for free. And then they're like, oh, well, we'll try to destroy them from another angle and be like, oh, you can't show your kids on YouTube without getting demonetized or having the comments removed.
Right.
And that pretty much, and I'm going to be honest, I think there's a direct correlation between toy sales imploding and influencers not being allowed to show them anymore. Because you look at the toy lines that were popular when our kids were young, mm-hmm. and they had influencers, they had YouTubers that would just show these toys off. You had like Cookie Swirl C, she did Shopkins and stuff and pet shops, and all that stuff was really popular. And you had people doing the slime, and all this stuff was really
popular. What was
popular.
That one with Gracie or whatever? What, the mama?
Oh, the Monster High dolls?
Yeah, they used to Monster High dolls. Now, I do know Monster High does still give, Mattel still does give, the Monster High collectible dolls to certain groups, people. Yeah. And they let them review it, which, by the way, we collect them, just so you know. You can always send some our way, and I would gladly review them. My daughter will do it. She's your target demo, and she loves it. But they're doing that now, and I know Transformers. I know Mattel has given they give He-Mans and G.I. Joe and different ones to different influencers to try to have them cover it. But they're talking not the toys for the kids, more the toys for the adults.
So this is interesting. This guy is the CEO of toy manufacturer Body, big on toy innovation. He delved into what he deemed the new toy economy in this article, imploring the industry to pay greater attention to the online spaces rather than traditional media coverage when looking for the next big hit. He said, that 9 of their top 12 brands in Europe for Q1 were either influencers with subscribers in the millions or video games popular with content creators like Ninja Turtles and Pokemon Legacies. When we introduced these new brands to the trade, the vast majority of toy buyers had no idea what we're talking about. So basically they're like, so these are their top selling toy brands. Some of these though are, they're based
the ones
on,
the ones that Dr. Squish was a toy influencer. Lanky Box is a YouTube channel.
Yep.
Minecraft YouTube channel.
Yep. So that's one thing I'm going to ask too. Like, where did Five Nights at Freddy's come from? Well, it blew up on YouTube. Where did Poppy Playtime?
Minecraft, same thing.
Minecraft blew up on YouTube. And then they started making toys. I remember when the Minecraft toys first came out. They, the very first, they had action figures and they first came out, and then they had the little mini figures and stuff. And that was like, whoa, they're actually making Minecraft toys now. It's big time. But they have like a whole section at Walmart of like YouTuber based stuff. And what I'm saying? So like kids are watching that. And I know we had Scott Knightlick on. He was the brand manager at Mattel for Masters of the Universe for quite some time. And we were talking about this, and he was even like, I don't know why companies, if they're going to use their shows as commercials for the toys, why they don't just put the series on YouTube, because you probably run a better...
Everybody can have access.
Everybody has access, but you paywalled at Netflix or Disney Plus or something like that. And
that's just it. Because when we were kids, the shows would be on, regular TV channels. So everybody, for the most part, had access. As long as you can get local channels, you got to watch the shows. And they do paywall them behind, different things. And then you're limiting your audience massively.
Yeah. So, I mean, that might be, but the thing is that Hasbro and Mattel are going to have to play nicer, I think, with content creators. Because I know there are content creators that have had their channels struck just for showing unreleased toys. We had this happen with a blog.
We did. We had pictures of, it was Monster High, wasn't it?
Monster High, yep.
I used to have people I knew that would get me pictures early of things, and I put them up, and then I was smart enough after the first time not to link them to the site. Like I just used a link to their site. I didn't directly put it on ours, so they couldn't do anything about it. But they went to our server or host and then had them take our site or take the article down, even though we didn't do anything. They didn't even ask us, or we would have taken it down. That's one of the reasons we don't host in a place they can do that to. So
we actually had to move to offshore hosting just to avoid that. But
because that happened once, they didn't even ask. They had asked us nicely, it would have been like, oh, no problem, but they didn't ask. So
I know that Mattel actually struck a guy over Jurassic Park. I think we covered that before.
Yes, I remember that. Yes,
and it was like, this guy is giving you free advertising.
And it was a picture that was out. Like it wasn't like a picture that was out even his picture. Yeah.
And it's like, you guys are going to have to learn to play ball. You want to sell your stuff, you're going to have to learn to play ball with these people. Sometimes,
like I know with the Monster High, like they would get leaked overseas in foreign catalogs or foreign toy distribution things and that. And they were out there for people to see. And what difference does it make? All it does is get people excited and interested in your toy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of dumb unless you aren't releasing it for some reason to not want people to be excited about it or have like leaks. Because then if you have leaks, people are going to be more interested in what you're selling.
Yeah, I think it's really stupid. I think these brands they're not thinking that way anymore. And because I remember
brands don't think.
Because I remember we were kids. The way you would reach 80s kids is comic books and TV, network TV. And that's what they did, that syndication. And the, G.I. Joe, Transformers, My Little Pony, those shows were commercials, but everybody had access to them and everybody watched the same stuff. We buy the comic books. We're basically paying for a commercial, Transformers, to go buy the toys, but it worked. And now kids are on YouTube and TikTok. So yeah, I think it totally makes sense if you're going to, actually get kids into buying toys again. But the thing is, you look at this and I think about all the toys that kids are buying now, and they're not Hasbro products. Mm-mm. They really aren't. Hasbro's like a legacy brand.
Because I mean, G.I. Joe and Transformers and things. It's mostly collectible market. Yeah.
But now, just to finish this up, Cynthia Williams leaving, they put this article out. They said that the president resigns, leaving a legacy of disharmony. And this is coming from rewrite.com. And it said it's at the end of a turbulent era, but I don't think it's going to change for sure. I think that, they're up, actually D&D. I would not be surprised if in the very near future, given how many people they laid off at Wizards of the Coast and that she's out the door and that Larian's gone, that they just decide they're going to outsource that too.
It wouldn't surprise me because whatever's going to be, they think they're going to make the most money on, it's going to cost them the least, but then at least the lowest risk and the most of the potential upside to them is going to be sending it someplace else.
Yeah.
Letting them eat the losses.
Yep, I think we're going to see more of this, and we kind of called it. I mean, I'm not trying to be that guy. I'll totally be that guy, but we said Hasbro doesn't want to be in the toy business. I don't know if Hasbro can afford to be in the toy business. They cannot afford to have all these toys sitting at Ollie's not selling.
It's just weird to me that Hasbro went and bought all these toy companies up, and they're like, they were the big toy company, them and Mattel, and now the toy company is outsourcing to other toy companies because they can't toy company.
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
Well, Disney can't Disney. I mean, let's be honest. Disney's getting their butt kicked by Universal in animation and in theme parks. And those are the
but
two
they did
things
it to themselves.
They did it to themselves. They got too big. They became too corporate. And I think the downward trend for Hasbro started, not want to speak badly of the dead, but Brian Goldner started chasing Hollywood.
Well, I think that's a big problem is they chase Hollywood, but I also think that they lack originality and they start relying too much on what they already have or what they've acquired, and not so much on what they can innovate. Yeah. And I think that's a big part of it. And Disney is the same thing.
Yep. So we're going to wrap this up?
Yes.
Okay. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.
Bye.